I think, or I
Okay.
don't see it yet. Oop. Okay.
I, I see the light.
Um, I don't know what's going on here. One, two, three, let me know.
It says live on my end.
Okay. Something about LinkedIn Live. Here we go. Oh, we are live. I'm sorry about that technical difficulty. Ariel, take it away.
All right. This is Ariel Marin, and you are watching the Break It Down show.
Yes, indeed, you are. Ariel is joining us. She is doing a show this weekend on Saturday night from 7 to 10 p.m. It's a beautiful show of contemporary music, and the musical director is our old friend. I don't know if you know this, Ariel, but we've done 815 episodes or something of this show, but our episode number
Wow.
one was James Early. And James is with us
Wow.
today as well. So we're glad to have you. Ariel, tell us about this show you're doing this weekend.
Absolutely. So I am doing a Sade tribute show called The Sultry Sounds of Sade and More. And it is going to be an absolutely incredible show. Got a full band. I have musical director James Early, I guess from this direction, that would be him in that corner right there.
Yeah.
Phenomenal musical director, bassist, musician, producer extraordinaire. And we've got
And a pretty nice guy.
pretty nice guy, yeah. And we have an incredible band. We've got touring members that tour with Confunction, and it's going to be just not just a show for the eyes, but incredible ear candy as well.
Tell us about this band you've assembled, because I want our listeners to know that if they get this stream, and I'm gonna put a, how about this? We're gonna show this graphic that shows where our listeners can get tickets. Chardeofthebay.eventbrite.com. So copy that link or click on it, and you'll be able to get tickets there. The way that this works is that this is a stream that's happening on Saturday night from 7 to 10, and that people who have tickets can watch this beautiful musical show. So for everybody who's missing live music right now, here's your chance to get to some live music, and live music that is musical directed by James. And James is no stranger to our listeners, so they know that he brings the quality. And then that you're going to be doing, this is a tribute to Sade, but not just to Sade, right? You're doing tunes by other artists
Absolutely.
as
We've got
well.
some Maxwell, we've got some Jackson 5, we've got some surprises for you.
Ooh, all right. Well, we'll let them be surprises. But let's talk about the impetus for this show. What made you inspired to do this in particular? Because I know this, you do a lot of different things,
I do.
and this is just showcasing some of what you do. So why this right now?
Uh, well, for one, it's so needed right now.
Yeah.
It's actually, I think, is it the 25th or 28th anniversary of the release of her Love Deluxe album, which was really one of my favorite albums to date. And then also, every time I perform, people ask me to do a Sade song for strange reasons. So I just figured, why not make it a full on show? Why not?
Yeah, yeah. And she's got great arrangements, and her songs are timeless, and we all love them, and romantic. So everybody can tune in from 7 to 10, and then who knows what you get into after that. That's up to you. But
Absolutely.
yeah, but as far as the tunes are concerned, I'm just happy that you guys have some live music happening, that we're able to feast our eyes and ears on live music again for once.
Thank you. Yeah, me
Yeah.
too. It's been much needed in this time. There's been a lot of shutting down live events, and so we're just doing our part to keep the live music going.
Yes, please. Tell us
Yeah.
about the venue.
All right. Well, the venue is the Lounge in Suisun, and
Ah,
the venue itself is a very sultry,
that is a
grown and
sexy place.
sexy venue. Yes,
Yeah.
and with great acoustics and really a perfect sound system, which just makes it all the more brilliant. So I'm excited about the venue as much as I am about the band and the show. It's just, having everything come together just right makes for musical magic.
Yeah, it sounds great in that place. That room is just really delightful, and I'm glad that they spent money on that sound system because it's really worth
Right.
it to see a show from there. And now you get to see a show from there in the comfort of your own living room. So
Absolutely.
we have the ticket link up on the screen right now. But again, that show starts on Saturday at 7 p.m. It goes from 7 to 10. So go ahead and get your tickets. Uh, James, tell us tell us about your musical direction here. What can we look forward to with the arrangements? How did you work this band? I know you work them hard.
Well, I have to because the bars, it is important. I love all music and I love all musicians. I love everyone. But it's important for the music to be right, especially when people are here paying the event or paying. But even if we were on a street corner and we had the guitar case with basket of dollars, you know,
Man, I hate to say it, but we can hear maybe 1 out of 10 words that you're saying.
okay, then
So
I'm gonna see if I can plug up a microphone. So
there you go. While
let me go
James
ahead and do that.
Yeah, while James reaches for a microphone, I will just tell you guys that this band features Danielle Wansley on drums, Dylan Greengard
Mm-hmm.
on guitar, Lorenzo Hawkins on keys.
Woohoo!
Goodness, and
Right.
the great Jimmy Weaver. When did you guys
Good
get
grief.
Jimmy Weaver to dust off and come out? And I haven't seen Jimmy in years on
Man.
saxophone. Man, what a sax player he is!
Oh my goodness.
How do you like Jimmy Weaver?
uh, you know, I love Jimmy Weaver. He just understands music and just uh, everything about it, the nuances, where to play, how to play. You know, I can't say enough about Jimmy Weaver and his musical skill. My
Yeah.
goodness. Just again, when you talk about ear candy, already the saxophone is an amazing instrument and it's known for being, sexy. But when you play it just right, I can't say enough about that.
Well, I'll tell you, and
Incredible job.
I'll tell our listeners an interesting story about Jimmy Weaver. He went to Japan to play a 3 month gig at a hotel. And at the end of that 3 month gig, they said, "Hey, man, we really like your playing. Will you stay another 3 months?" And then another hotel said, "Well, we want you to come over here and play for 3 months." So he went and did that. That 3 months turned into 11 years that he lived in Japan and
Wow.
played 6 nights a week. So he's just got road miles like crazy. And if you ever want to see a veteran musician who's got the chops that have just been honed over years and years, he's that guy. Following those 11 years, he came back, and that was probably concluded the 11 years 20 years ago. So when he came back here, he stayed plenty busy as a saxophonist and a producer, and he's just a great guy. And so I'm really happy that he's able to contribute to your show. I'm looking forward to seeing him. I haven't seen him in a while. Tell us also about what it's been like to play with Lorenzo Hawkins, because he's another guy who's just famous in the Bay Area.
He is another amazing musician. It's he's so instinctive. It's like you can think something and he'll play it in real time,
Oh boy.
which is an exceptional ability musically. It really means he's so tuned in to his instrument and how music works. So,
And just collaborate on another level.
right, whole other level. And I have to tell you, for these guys to be playing with me is not only such an honor, but um, they've actually said that this is one of their favorite events ever. So
Oh,
for musicians of that level to say such a thing is
high
uh,
praise.
high praise, to
Yeah.
say the
Wow,
least.
that's
Yeah.
something else. So now, tell me about your singers, because you have a couple of backup singers and I don't know them.
Yes, we have the gorgeous Artencia. I call her Artsy Young. And then we have Tia on vocals as well. Just beautiful, beautiful Nubian queens, if I might say so myself. And
Hmm.
um, they are also just wonderful to work with, not just musically, but also just energy wise. It's amazing to be around such positive people. And
Wow.
I can't say enough about that as well. Just, it's one thing to be in a room full of talent, but when that talent is humble, it really makes for a whole nother level of presentation. I think you feel it much more when it's coming from a genuine place.
Well, we've also had kind of a humbling circumstance these last few months. So I'm sure everybody's really excited just to be playing. Is that true?
Absolutely.
What
I
was it
think
like
more
just to
excited.
get a rehearsal in?
You would think that it would be challenging at this time, but just as musicians, I think not being able to play out like normal, people will drive really 5, 6 hours just to be at a rehearsal, whereas before, not so much. So rehearsal was just as amazing, really, as getting the event together as well.
Okay. I don't know where you guys rehearsed, but I am fortunate enough to be rehearsing with a band that has a big enough space that we can social distance and practice.
Yeah.
And that's really nice, I have to say, because when we're all crammed together, that's one vibe. But when you're spaced out and you get to look at someone across space, even if it's just 8 feet or so,
Mhm.
it makes it feel like a bigger deal. It makes us feel like we're in a bigger place or we're playing a bigger place. And I
Yeah.
think it allows you and your instrument, and in your case, your instrument is your voice, but it allows some breathing room. Would you say?
Absolutely.
Did
It
you
gives
get some
you
space in your rehearsals? Were you
at
able to?
least at least 6 feet of space for sure.
That's good. That's good. It feels good, doesn't it?
It does. I mean, to honestly, to be able to have the gift of music and to be around it, whether it's a concert or a rehearsal, is just a massive blessing. So it feels great.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's great. I'm really excited about the vibe that you're creating for this show. It
Thank
seems like
you.
it's going to be terrific. Um, let's talk about you. What can you tell us about your musical past? How did it all come together for you?
All right. Well, when I was a wee little baby,
Mm,
my my mom was actually a professional singer, and she sang with a group called the Dinosaurs. She was really around in that era of Jerry Garcia and the Grateful Dead. Um, and I grew up around their kids. I actually went to Camp Winter Rainbow with Jerry Garcia's daughters, and I grew up also being backstage with her, which was more like, you're on a huge platform and backstage was the side of the stage. So as a young child, I was witnessing my mom firsthand performing in Golden Gate Park from the stage. And that's when I got bitten by the musical bug and just
wow.
decided really, really young that this is what I want to do for life.
That's terrific. Yeah, you got bit, but good.
Yeah, no kidding.
I can't imagine better circumstance to fall in love with playing music and singing in than that right there. What about as your music taste started to develop? What'd you gravitate to?
uh, Literally everything, from, of course, 80s Madonna to Janet Jackson. Peter Gabriel is huge
Mm,
for me. U2, one of my favorite rock bands ever. Eric
mm,
Clapton. Um, I go. I think honestly, my favorite era of R&B has to be 90s to 2000. I remember Michael Jackson. Let's see what else. Culture Club. Really, Everything. I just love great music, and it doesn't matter what genre it is. If it's great music, chances are I listen to it.
Yeah, and you were exposed to great music early, so you could really
Yeah.
have a discerning ear about stuff. So as you started to create, what did you find yourself, like where did you find your voice in terms of, your creative style? What were you doing? What were you into?
Um, as far as songwriting or
Did you
what
start off just right out of the gate writing songs or?
I did. I remember writing songs as young as I don't know. I probably maybe was 3 or 4, and I had this little plastic chair that was hollow in the middle, and I had a tape recorder, and I would be in the living room. I would drive my mom nuts. I'd be in the living room banging on this drum and then singing songs that just came to my head. So, yes,
I
I
love it.
began writing really early.
Just making up your own tunes. So, okay.
Absolutely.
What about your first opportunities to play live for people? Did you play in any cover bands? Did you start off singing original songs? Tell us about your emergence as a young artist.
Wow. As a young artist, one of the first uh, events I remember was being pushed into doing a talent show
Oh,
by some friends, and I sang Mariah Carey's "Love Takes Time," and
you
I
just went for it, huh?
I just went for it, and people thought I was lip syncing, and I was
Wow.
actually singing. And as a kid, I was like, "Oh my gosh, I felt so bad about it." But as a grown up, I think about the fact that they thought I was lip syncing Mariah Carey, and I was not. That's
Mm,
pretty awesome.
that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, so that's where I started. I was so painfully shy before that. I had friends who were actually, ironically, now performing musicians, um, who pushed me out of my shell, literally, and just said, "Go sing, go sing
Mm.
in front of people."
I don't see irony in that at all. I think that it's a natural gravitation,
Yeah,
and I think that they were driven to make you do what they knew you were capable of doing.
I think so.
So yeah, I mean, it may just be ironic in that you were kids, but I think they knew what they were talking about. So they got you out there, and they're now playing as well. And so
Yeah,
you came up in a community of musicians,
I did.
huh?
I did.
Where did you grow up?
You know what? I grew up partially in Marin,
Okay,
and then also partially in Vallejo and in Richmond. And it was
okay,
in Richmond where I was pushed out of my shell into these talent shows. So we had
all
a
right,
group of friends that did it and said, "Get out there, go sing."
yeah, but all around the Bay Area.
All around the Bay.
Okay. So everybody support your girl. She's from the Bay, all over the Bay. So wherever in
Yeah.
the Bay you are and wherever in the world you are, you can get this stream that's this Saturday, October 3rd from 7 to 10 p.m. And Ariel will be doing a tribute to Sade and much, much more. So
Much, much
we're
more.
excited about it. And I just want to, again, the link is on the screen there at the bottom. Now, how did you find James?
That's funny. I was actually, it's like, which version of the story do you want? I was actually looking for production some years ago. I'm a songwriter, as you know, and I wanted a different flavor of production on my music. And so I found him, I think initially I found him on Facebook, and we met up at a studio, and the rest is history.
You met that's how we lure the chicks. Like, okay, come and meet at the studio. And then if we know we got you singing, we're gonna ask you for your phone number. So
Apparently.
yeah, I think that's how that goes. Anyway, so when you found him and you began to collaborate musically, what was it that you liked about what he did for you in the studio?
He was very thorough in his explanation of things. So I knew he was going to be honest about everything. And he
Mm,
became very much a mentor for me musically. and he's
And for
definitely
us all.
there. You go, and that's part of what made me really comfortable working with him. And he's definitely, got the resume for it. He's got the experience as well.
Yeah,
So
he's done a couple of things, huh?
just a few.
So, okay, what came of those initial recordings? Were they did you hang on to them? Have you moved on since? Did you make a record? What ended up with the original recordings?
One of the recordings is I'm just waiting for the right time to release it, and
Ah,
then we're still working on recordings. So as recently as 2 days ago, we've been working on some original music. So you're going to hear all of those recordings very, very soon.
where did you do those first sessions?
First sessions were actually done at in my living room
Oh, okay.
remotely.
Yeah, I see.
Technology works beautifully.
That's right. It sure does. It sure does. Okay, so now back to this Saturday's show. Just to remind our listeners, we're doing this to promote the show that you're doing this Saturday, October 3rd, from 7 to 10 p.m. Oh, look who's in the house! And 7 to 10 p.m. It's a stream that comes from the lounge in Suisun, which is a beautiful and sexy place. So the venue is great. The sound in there is wonderful. The band is slamming, and you've got some great backup singers and some arrangements we can look forward to. James was your musical director for the show, so we know that the arrangements are going to hit, and we know that the band's going to be busy. The band also features an all-star lineup, including Danielle Wansley on the drums, Dylan Greengard on guitar, Lorenzo Hawkins on keys, James Early on bass, and Jimmy Weaver on the saxophone. So everybody should be excited about that. You can get your tickets at the link on the bottom of the screen. So now, James, now that we have you here, tell us about the band. How'd you work this band out?
Well, as I was saying before, the bar is high. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So the
You sound
bar
good.
is high, and I think it is anyway, just in quality of music that comes from the Bay Area. I'm a professional. I've been a professional ever since I was 20. Having platinum success at like 21 years old. So anything that I put my name on, even though I love everybody, I love all genres of music. I love everything music. It's important though when you're presenting it to the public, especially when you're asking people to pay, that the quality is right. So I reached out for just the best. Ariel is amazing, starting with her. So we had to make sure that everything else was great. She's a fantastic singer. So my drummer, I'm a
Worked with a
bass
couple
player.
pretty good singers too.
Yeah, well, yeah, yeah, I have. But I'm a bass player by trade, and you're a drummer, John. So you understand.
Oh, I
That right
understand.
there, in a band, in any band, the marriage between drums and bass is the most important marriage in a band. It
That's
really
right.
is. And so bass and drums had to be funky. So I used Danielle Wansley on drums. She's we call her drummer girl. She's somebody I've been playing with for years now. um, and she's phenomenal. And so that was once I had the foundation right. I just worked my way up. I reached out actually to her guitar player. His name is Dylan Greengard. He was a fabulous bassist. Actually, I met him up at a club playing bass. But when I
Boy.
found out he played guitar as well, I was like, "Whoa!" See, because I play guitar too, so I was like, "Man, I could use this guy." And
Yeah.
he's just such a cool guy. So a little bit younger than us, but I enjoy working with him, almost in a mentoring position. But he's great, and he's musically. I feel like he's on our level, but I'm still, because I'm a little bit older than him, kind of like a big brother. It's sort of a mentoring situation.
Okay.
From there, what I had to do was call in some specialists though, because
Oh, boy.
I it was an important show, and the keyboard player we normally use couldn't make the date. So I reached out to Lorenzo Hawkins, somebody I've known for years, but
Big gun.
yeah, yeah, and he was able, thankfully, to do the date with us.
Mhm.
And because of COVID and all of this stuff, our band never really did. I shouldn't even be saying this, but I'm proud of it. We didn't get a chance to rehearse because we wanted to, but it wasn't always convenient for everyone to be in one place. So the show that you guys are going to see is the one performance that we did really of all of that. It was the
All
first
together.
time the
Yeah.
entire unit as a whole got together and ran it. And Lorenzo was phenomenal. I sent him a list of like 50 songs and he learned all of them in like 10 minutes, ready to
No
play.
joke.
So he's phenomenal. So I had to reach out to him, man. He's like a big brother to me, but I love Lorenzo. And then also Jay Weave. I heard you talking about Jimmy Weaver. He and I also go back. I know you guys have a history in a music production arena, studio arena, John. But for me, I met Jimmy just in the circle of musicians. He was the sax player that everybody would call to come play at the gig. So I was like,
He's
man, I
mad.
got to work with this guy. So the first chance I did have to work with him was when I was MDing the Superfly Curtis Mayfield tribute show at
Oh
Yoshi's.
yeah.
We had multiple shows that were sold out. It was a tribute to Curtis Mayfield. We were playing really again, kind of like what we're doing with the Sade show. It's not just Curtis Mayfield. We were playing the theme to Shaft, a song called Scorpio. I mean, James Brown. We did a bunch of James Brown songs, and just all of this other stuff. So Jimmy was able to come in and handle all of that. So when it was time for me to do this Sade tribute show, I knew he was the guy for me to call for this.
Yeah,
So,
he's an assassin. He just comes in and kills them.
Man.
he's a beast. And once again, it was the same thing. I mean, I sent him, 50 songs. I mean, honestly, it was about 15 or 16 songs. And again, Jimmy, I never worry about that guy, man. If I never sent him a set list of songs, I know he could just show up with his sax and he kind of just looks at me because he trusts me. And he's like, James, just count it off.
Count
I'm
it
good.
off.
I'm not even worried about what he's going to do because I know he's going to do something fabulous.
That guy, he's a veteran. I just want to say for our listeners, if you're a new listener to the show, James Early was guest number 1 on the Break It Down show, and in our hearts, he's guest number 1 as well. So the thing about this band is, if it scares you that wait a minute, you guys didn't get a chance to rehearse these tunes, we're talking about pros, and they came in. So what you're going to witness is almost like an A-team kind of operation where guys come in, they have their specialty, they know what the ground is like, and as soon as they hit the ground running. So it's going to be an amazing show. We're talking about not only musical explorations that are going to be terrific, but execution that's top notch. So don't be afraid. Tickets are $10, and if you get tickets at the link at the bottom of the screen, you'll be able to see the show that is taking place this Saturday, October 3rd from 7 to 10 p.m. It's going to be a doozy. So all of those things that James is saying about the players, he's paying them great compliments because they're good players and friends. But it's not just to say that that it was fun to do, but you're going to have a show on your hands, everybody. So come take a look at this thing. You'll be blown away. Ariel?
Yeah. And let me just say also, we're just really what this is, we're getting ready to, when things open back up, we want to be performing back again at Yoshi's and back at the lounge with people there, packed house and all of that stuff. But obviously we have to get past COVID. So what it is we're just making it so people can social distance, but still enjoy this concert and enjoy the music of Sade, of course, the music of Ariel. And we're just going to have fun. And, hopefully this is a dress rehearsal to us getting back out there as a society and a world and going back to concerts again. Because, let me just say this, John, again, as a musician, you understand music is the glue that really ties us all together. I feel like music and love are synonymous. And so it's so important, I think, for us to be doing this. And I thank everyone in advance for your support. And we just want to give back the gift of music that the universe has given us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, that sounds terrific. I hope everybody tunes in. If you didn't hear James say the poignant words that music is love. And so get yourself some love this weekend. Tune in, get some great music. It's something that you can enjoy from the comfort of your own living room or your own whatever room you like. And I guarantee that between 7 and 10 p.m., your ears are going to be tickled. And then after that, it's just up to you.
Yeah.
So Everybody come check Ariel out. Hey, this has been a great pleasure. I would like to just say, Ariel, this forum is great on you, and I'd love to have you back on the show. Is this something you'd do again?
Absolutely. And thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Oh, you're absolutely welcome. It is my pleasure, 100%. James has been on the show several times, so I know he likes doing it. We have a great time every time he comes on. But I really do sincerely want to, follow your career, follow your shows, whatever you're doing. Absolutely, you have a platform to talk about it. We want to put you out in front of the Bay Area so our fans who are around can come check you out. And then as you expand, when we get over this pandemic and start to get on the road and get to places other than the Bay Area, to reach out and get our listeners from there to come in and join us as we watch you progress.
Thank you. I'm excited.
Terrific. Hey, everybody. This Saturday, October 3rd, 7 to 10 p.m., it's a stream that is a show from the Lounge in Suisun, a great room, a great band, and a beautiful and lovely talent that we have leading the show, Ariel Marin. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Goodbye, everybody.
Thank you,
Bye.
John.
See you soon.